All right, here we go to the fan favorite portion of the show. This week in history, a trivia style. Again, there are 7 questions based on this week in history past. there are 7 questions. Our goal is to go 7 for 7. That's what we try to do. I do not know the answers to the questions. I am a competitor just like you. Together at the end, we will find out if we are right or wrong. You keep your own score. You hold yourself accountable, because I'm not going to do that for you. On June 8th, 1949, what classic dystopian novel by George Orwell was published in the UK? Now, I'm putting my hand up over here to block that screen from being seen by me, because I know the answer to this without looking at my multiple choice options. I don't need to see my multiple choice options. The name of the book is the same as the name of a very awesome, I'm looking this way, a very awesome album by Van Halen. For those of you who don't know the answer, let me give you the question once again. It's June 8th, 1949. What classic dystopian novel by George Orwell was published in the UK? Mr. Taney's going to go with Animal Farm. That is one of the options available to us. Not the guess. Yeah. And then he changes it. You're not allowed to change your answer, sir. But we do allow him to change his answer all the time. Because, there are no prizes. Animal House, Robert goes with, which is a much funnier answer. Brave New World is option number 1. Option number 2 is 1984. Option number 3, Fahrenheit 451. And finally, Animal Farm. Robert's going with 1984. James is going with 1984. Carl has left us, which makes me sad. Stacy has not joined us, and nothing from the TikTok audience. The TikTok audience is so fun. It's so fun that they just pop in and pop out so quickly. So there are our answers, 1984 and 1984. I agree that it is Van Halen's best album, 1984. Question number 2. June 9th, 1973. What racehorse became the first Triple Crown winner in 25 years, winning the Belmont in 31 links? Oh, by 31 links. Holy crap. I am blocking out the possibility of answers because I think I know what the answer is, but I had no idea that it won by 31 lengths. A length is the length of a horse. He was 31 horses in front of the other horses when he won the Triple Crown on June 9th, 1973. What was the name of the horse? Here are your options. Was it War Admiral? Was it Citation? Was it Secretariat? Or was it Seabiscuit? Robert gets an extra point for correctly spelling Secretariat before the option became available. James also calls for Secretariat. I am also going to go with Secretariat. But 31 links is a huge lead. Huge. So huge. All of our answers are locked in. Moving on to question number 3. On June 10th, 1692. A little far back in the Wayback Machine. In the Salem witch trials, who became the first person executed for witchcraft? Here's a hint. It's a woman. Here's another hint. She wasn't an actual witch. None of the witches that were persecuted during the Salem witch trial were actual witches. They were just women who fell on the wrong side of history, because the woman in charge of calling out the witches was a word that rhymes with witch. You know what I'm saying? You got me? You hear me? Here are your options. The first woman executed in the Salem witch trials, was it Sarah Good, Bridget Bishop, Giles Corey, Helen Keller, that's freaking hilarious, or Rebecca Nurse? Who was the first woman executed in the Salem witch trials on June 10th, 1692? Sarah Good, Bridget Bishop, Giles Corey, or Rebecca Nurse? The thing is, if it was a man, we'd probably know this answer. It is a complete random guess for me. I have no idea who the first woman was that was murdered for supposedly being a witch. I have no idea. But I think the last name Good is hilarious. If you're being accused of being a witch and you're murdered because you're a witch, if your last name is Good, I think that's poetic, very poetic. Mr. Taney agrees with me. He's going with Sarah Good. Robert hasn't answered yet. Maybe he doesn't know his options. Oh, he's going with Good also. Okay, so we're all saying Good. So far, 3 questions in, we're all saying the same thing. Question number 4. June 11th, 1963. Alabama Governor George Wallace attempted to block the integration of what university? I have performed with George Wallace on more than one occasion, and I think it's a great joke that nobody gets. Ladies and gentlemen, he sure has changed since he was the governor of Alabama. Please welcome to the stage Mr. George Wallace. And then George Wallace comes out, and he is not the former Alabama governor. But the former Alabama governor, George Wallace, tried to block integration on June 11, 1963, as featured in the movie Forrest Gump. What university was he trying to stop the integration of? Was it Auburn University? Was it the University of Georgia? Was it the University of Alabama? Or was it Ole Miss? Well, if you know anything about George Wallace, you know he was the governor of Alabama. So you could take Georgia and Ole Miss out of the situation. So you got 2 options. It was either Auburn or Alabama. Now, I lived in Alabama for a period of time, and I can tell you they take their football seriously down there. They sure don't like Auburn, or they don't like Alabama. They like one or the other. That is a true statement. I think we're all going with the University of Alabama. Robert with the Roll Tide, Mr. Taney with a funny joke about rolling tide. Yeah, I think we're all going with the University of Alabama. So far, out of 4 questions, we're all saying the same thing. Interesting. On June 12, 1987, Ronald Reagan gave his infamous speech, "Tear down this wall." In what city? I don't need to look at the answer. I put my hand up to avoid seeing the answers. Ronald Reagan said famously, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." What city was he in when he said that on June the 12th, 1987? I can tell you this. I've been there. I have been there after the wall came down. I took an amazing photo of my gorgeous wife leaning against the wall that remains. Most of it's been torn down. Mr. Taney answers with Berlin. And here are your options. Was it Washington, D.C., which would be hilarious? Like he was speaking at the Vietnam Memorial. Tear down this wall. Berlin, London, or Vienna? Washington, D.C., Berlin, London, or Vienna? Robert pipes in, James pipes in. We all say the same thing. We are all saying Berlin. We will all most assuredly hang together because we are all saying the same thing. Next question. June 13th, 1966. What landmark Supreme Court decision ruled that detained suspects must be informed of their rights? I don't need to see because I know the answer. I know the answer so much, I'm going to take the time to educate you. Here are your options. Was it Roe v. Wade? Was it Miranda v. Arizona? Was it Gideon v. Wainwright? Or was it Brown versus Board of Education? I'm not giving you the answer. I'm just going to talk about the case without saying the case's name. The person in question in this landmark decision was a murderer. He was not informed of his rights. That is correct. That is correct. All right, everybody knows the answer. It is Miranda versus Arizona. So Miranda is a murderer. And the Supreme Court says, well, it doesn't matter if you're a murderer. You should be informed of your rights to remain silent, to request an attorney, to not speak until an attorney is present. You should be informed of your rights to that. And if you are not informed, well, then anything you say, we throw it out. And Miranda, a murderer, was let go. But because murderers be doing murdering things, turned out Miranda himself later gets murdered. And the officers who arrested the suspect who murdered Miranda laughed when they said, you know, you're going to believe this, but I got to read you your rights that are named after that guy. Your Miranda rights. Life is funny. So, yeah, we all agree it was Miranda v. Arizona. Finally, the last question of the week. June 14th, 1777. The U.S. adopted its national flag on this day. How many stars did the first flag have? Bonus points when we add Greenland and Canada. Where are we going to put the extra 2 stars? June 14th, 1777. The U.S. adopted its national flag on this day. How many stars did the first flag have? By the way, if you think the first flag was made by Betty White, that's not right, is it? Who is the person that's attributed with Betty White? I love her to death, but I don't think she was around in 1777. Who was the woman accredited with creating the American flag? Betty Crocker? Betty something. Doesn't matter. She didn't do it. It was a propaganda perpetuated by her son. Mr. Taney pops in with 13. And I haven't even read the multiple choice options yet. Robert pops in with 13. I am also saying 13. Here are your multiple choice options. 13, 7, 20, 50. As always, if you have a question and you don't know the answer, get rid of the highest and the lowest, right? So we get rid of 7, we get rid of 50, we got left 20 and 13. Now 20 is a stupid number. Betsy Ross, that's it. Yeah, she didn't really make the flag. Thank you, James. If you get rid of the 2 because you've taken an exam from me, you know, creating the false answers is usually a challenge for anybody that writes an exam. So if it has a number thing, it's easy. Just get rid of the highest and the lowest number, which we did here, which is 7 and 50. That gives us 2, 13 and 20. And 20 is a stupid number. I go with 13. So you guys went with 13. Here it is. we have all said the same thing. Oh, shoot. I never set up the Mevo. I got the Mevo working, in case you missed out on the booger picking episode. Now we're going to ask AI to, yes, please give us the answers. And yes, I said please when I'm talking to AI because I want them to remember that I was one of the good ones when they take over. Here we go with your answers. Again, we will all hang separately. We will all die separately, or we most assuredly will hang together. Whatever the phrase is. Oh, look at all them likes. Thank you so much. Question number 1. The answer was 1984. Question number 2 was Secretariat. And again, 31 links is amazing. I really want to watch that race. I want to watch that race. Because the other horses had to be doped. They had to be drugged. Something. Question number 3, we all got wrong. Womp, womp, womp. For future posterities, if you are ever asked, you can now say with most assurity, it was Bridget Bishop. She was the first person executed as a witch during the Salem witch trials. Bridget Bishop. Lock it in. Now you know. Now you know. Ma'am, you dropped your books. Was at the University of Alabama, where George Wallace tried to stop them black children from entering the college. So, yeah, we all answered Alabama. Yeah, we got them all. I think we got them all right. Berlin, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall, was said in Berlin, obviously. Miranda versus Arizona was also a correct answer. And 13 was the correct answer. I'm going to say 6 out of 7 ain't bad, okay? You're smart people. I don't know about the Scarlet Letter. I feel like I need to watch that now. But Bridget Bishop screwed us all. I'm glad they executed her. And that's it, man. It was a great day. Thank you so much. I love it when you participate. I remind you today, as I remind you every day, just be the best person that you can be. And if you were a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow. Chick Bruce sends her love. And new episode of the Lens B Show will be taped later this evening. So with that being said, hasta luego, amigos. And that ends it.